Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Building Champions Experience call. I'm Daniel Harkavy, and with me I have Kristen Brown, who's going to be operating the webinar, as well as Steve Scanlon. And Steve and myself have been really kind of facilitating and crafting the last 5 years of experiences, along with the other coaches here at the Building Champions team. And we are so excited that 7 weeks from today, we're going to be with many of you who are on the webinar with us today. 7 weeks from today, we're going to be with you in Sun River, jumping into what we believe will be a week that can have radical impact in your businesses and in your lives. We're real excited about it. One logistic item right now is that you have an opportunity to ask us questions on the panel over to the right. You should be able to write in any questions that you would like Steve or myself to answer. We'll answer those towards the end. So just type those in as they may surface, and we'll get to them at the end of the call. So let's talk a little bit about the experience. What we want to do is let's advance this a couple here, and let's get down to oh, yeah, there I am. Let's get off me here. Keep going. No, there's Steve. You can keep going. This is where I really wanted to start us, and that is what the experience is not. We find that it's often easier to explain the experience because it's so unique by letting you know what it's not, because the compare and contrast thing works really well. So what the experience is not is it is not a seminar. It's not a workshop. It's really not like anything you've been to before. For those of you who have never joined us, I know there's at least 30 or so of you on the call who have been to the experience before, and we're excited to have you back. We'll talk to you a bit about what we have in store for you in the moments ahead. But for those of you who have not been, you need to understand it's not this big event with thousands of people. It's intimate. There's 225 people at it. It's not being locked into a ballroom all day long. It's in Sun River, which is not real easy to get to. It's not your ordinary conference facility or location, and much of how we run the day is not ordinary. It's not your typical kind of drinking from the fire hose experience. There's not content coming at you all day from morning to night. It's not a whole bunch of different presenters that are really gifted. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong about other types of venues, but you just need to understand the experience is not a seminar, and I don't want you to look at this and compare it to anything else. So it's not a drinking from the fire hose, not an overload of content, not a lot of presenters. It's not a whole bunch of different professionals with differing messages. What it is really unique. It's a time to reflect. And we believe that for many of you, this in itself can be one of the greatest gifts of the experience. It's a time to stop, to assess, to think, to review. It's in this setting in Sun River where we use not only the main stage, but we use breakout rooms, we use the meadows, we use the river, we use the outdoor settings for a lot of what we do. So it's a time to reflect. It's a time to plan. It's a time for you to learn from the different coaches that are going to be speaking, from the other like-minded professionals that are going to be there. And after you've spent this time reflecting, we're going to give you the tools and then the space to put your plans together. So our desire is that when you leave the experience, you leave with a solid plan in place. And what that should do for you is that should give you clarity as you enter into the fourth quarter and then into 2013. So it's a time to reflect, it's a time to plan, and it's a time to connect. It's a time to connect with other like-minded professionals. And as guys who have been running the experience now for 5 years and one of our coaching programs, the Master's Coach, for I think almost 14 years, we've seen the benefit from connecting with other like-minded peers to be one of the greatest strategies that we can create for our clientele. Because what we do is We give you this intentional time to spend time with others and to learn from them. What is it that they're doing? What have they done in times past that has worked well? What have they done in times past or are they doing now that's not working so well? And in the setting that we give you, you will be able to get the specific how-tos from like-minded people in similar industries and similar businesses, and that connecting can really help you. Not only that, what we've heard over the years is that you get to connect with people that for some of you, you'll build relationships with people that will last long beyond the 4 days in Sun River. So it is a time to reflect, plan, and connect. And Steve, why don't you walk us down through kind of the agenda and what people can expect for those who are coming back and for those that are thinking about joining us on the webinar today.
Yeah, you bet. You know, as Daniel mentioned, it's just to hear him talk about what it's not. You know, when I first saw how that we planned to do this, didn't want to go negative with that. Certainly there is a time for people to go to events where they are getting spoken to, where there are really good people. We've done that. We've benefited greatly from that. It's just a way, way different type of deal. And I think for the people that have been there and those of you that have already signed up, I'm just, you know, every time we get around this time of the year and even earlier the summer and the spring, and we start itching. We start itching to go, there's just people that have got to be there. I got to be honest, every year there's a certain sinking feeling. I mean, I'm pretty jazzed up usually at the end, but there's a little bit of a sinking feeling at the end of it, of knowing of some people that weren't there that should have been there. And that's happened 5 years in a row. And so I think every year we get pretty excited about having the right people there. We know it's not for everybody. But to Daniel's point, when there's a few things that you're going to get that I think are very, very tangible. First of all, on Tuesday, the day of the experience, we structured some optional activities. You see a guy down there fishing. God, I wish I could be there right now. But we're going to have a golf outing. There's going to be a hike. You're going to have the ability to fish, and really, it's just optional. I know some people are going to want to take advantage of that. It's just a way to prepare, to stop. I mean, even getting prepared to prepare, really, to go back in, to prepare for the event. It's just a wonderful way to get away and come and spend a half a day, you know, really relaxing before you engage your mind and your heart again. I was just at an event with a company put on, and the company's name was Productive Learning and Leisure. And forget what the company's about. I'll just tell you one quick core belief. They believe that when your mind is in the space that maybe where this guy's is standing in that river, if that's his space, you just simply learn more. And so we've got the optional activities. We think they're going to be great. It's easy to sign up for those. You simply go to the website. You can email Katie at katie@buildingchampions.com, or you can register right on the website of the BCE website for what you want to do. So please take advantage of that.
I want to add one thing on that. You know, you're coming to Sun River, which is Central Oregon. It's a beautiful spot for those of you who are listening in on the call, and you guys are located throughout the country. But if you're going to make the trip to Central Oregon, I would just encourage you to come in early and take advantage of the day one activities. In September, it is going to be beautiful. It's always beautiful in Sun River in September. And if you have any of those interests, whether it be the fishing, whether it be golf, whether it be the hike, or floating down the river, or just relaxing and enjoying one of the most beautiful settings in the country, it's a great way to kick the experience off. So I would encourage you to do so.
The opening session is on Tuesday night. Again, that's very strategic for us. We do understand we've got some people from the East Coast coming. The opening session for the last few years has really been our way to really rev up the engines and get our minds and our hearts engaged. And I don't think this year is going to be any different. We've got a few surprises for what we're doing there. It's not a ton of super rich bullet points to take, but we believe that if you don't engage with that it's going to be really hard to kick in the next day. And so I think what's going to happen out of that night could be pretty remarkable for some people. And I absolutely believe that there's going to be some people that are going to get something from that opening session that was right what they needed as well. But very much about the potency of reflection and just how the world just so speaks against that right now. And I think it's going to be a really wonderful message to hear that's going to, like I say, till our hearts and and our minds to be prepared for the following 3 days. The life planning part on the following day, this has been something that I just don't ever see us letting go of. And, you know, Daniel and I are really aware of the fact that there might be some people that go, oh, life planning, I've done that. I think our most seasoned clients come in and go, we are firm believers that there is no been there, done that in life planning.
Yeah.
There's just none of that. The better you get at that, the more you realize how important it is to actually take the time to do it. And what I think I'm really pleased about that we try to create in the event every year is not lots of lessons around the power of it or why or how. We're going to do some of that because we know some people haven't engaged in it before. But the true power of this time is, and I think it's one of the true uniquenesses of the entire experience, is that we give you time to go do it. There's just such a time to talk about it, and then there's a time to go do it, and I think that's unique to the experience. We actually give people space to go do stuff, and I think it's really, really cool.
I want to add something on the life planning piece because I'm very aware that there are many of you who are listening in, and you may not have any experience with building champions, and life planning may not be scratching the itch from a business perspective that you're looking for. And I just want to make sure you understand that we have an absolute belief, and that is that self-leadership always precedes team leadership. So my assumption is that you're all leaders. And what we have seen now for the last 16 years is the best leaders in business are also the best leaders in life. They lead themselves in ways that are proactive and intentional, and as a result of how they do it, they're congruent. And that congruency increases their leadership influence. So I want everybody to understand life planning is very much about you having a purposeful and intentional life, but it's also about helping you to improve as a leader.
Absolutely. You know, one of the key things that when Daniel mentioned that there's only 225 people coming, he's going to let you know later on that we're pretty dang close to that actual number. We intend to keep it that small. I mean, maybe that's not small for some people, but that's why it's not a big thing. The connection piece. Again, I won't spend a lot of time here other than to tell you throughout the year when I'm coaching people, these are the stories that I hear. I met so-and-so, so-and-so brought this to, and there was a connection piece, and I get to hear that throughout the year. It's so difficult to talk about the power of that before it, and it's so easy to see the importance of it afterwards. But the connection piece is so big, and some of the people that you're going to meet there, again, anytime you're around like-minded people who are like you, who take the time to come and reflect, plan, and connect, there's going to be a lot to learn. The vision component of it, I'm really excited about this year. I think we've got some really, really unique ways that we're going to present this vision piece. We're all familiar with the idea that where there is no vision, people perish. And I can just tell you that it's just so difficult right now to take the time away to do this. I guess at any given point it's difficult to take the time away. But this year, how we're setting this up and how we're presenting it, it's our hope that if we have 225 people there, and we may have a few more, and Daniel will talk about that if we don't oversell it, but every single person there, regardless of what leadership role you're in, if you're in sales, if you're in support, if wherever you come from, whatever walk of life you're coming from, that you have a dialed, spelled out, clear vision. That's one of our great purposes for this event. The second component on that day, on Thursday, and I think again, what makes our experience the experience is part of the business planning part of this. The business planning part, when we talk about life planning and vision, there's just such a communal way that we share that. When we get into business planning, we have so many different walks of people that are coming. Different people need different plans, and I think it's for that reason that when we get to the business planning part, we really set the experience up a little bit different in that you get to choose what you want to hear from a business planning perspective. Not only what, as Daniel mentioned, scratches your itch, but what's really important for you. And so we think we've got a pretty good array of options for the various types of plans and business planning that you'll have, and I just think that's going to be, as it is every single year, and we've got some really unique and new business planning optional breakouts from the coaches, and I'm really looking forward to that this year as well.
Yeah, I think the breakouts, for those of you who have been, you know that so much of the experience's power comes from your opportunity to choose the specific breakouts. And I know one of you have already asked for us to give you the date in which you can begin selecting the breakouts. I know it's just about ready to go on the website, so stay tuned. There will be an announcement coming out in the next week or so on that. I'm going to verify that hopefully before this webinar ends. But you'll actually go onto the site. We'll let you know when to do so. You'll get an overview on every breakout session, and you'll get to select the breakouts that are right for you for the business breakouts on this day. And also, we didn't mention there are going to be some life planning breakouts that you can choose. They're optional on the Wednesday evening, and we'll get those out on the site too. And I'm believing it's within a week or so. So whoever asked that, thank you very much. We'll get you the exact very shortly.
You know, recently, as I've had the blessing really of speaking around the country. One of the questions that I ask people when I'm live in groups is, how many times have you been to a seminar, a workshop, you know, something, whatever you want to call it, where you sit there and you make a bunch of commitments and you say to yourself, or you even write it down sometimes, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and then the truth is a day or two passes and you're right back into the same old rut. When I ask that question, it's pretty remarkable. I will typically get 100% response. And I think when we first crafted this event and when we first had the idea for the experience, we went right back to the core of what coaching was all about, and it really is about implementation. Coaching's about action. It's that simple. Are you taking it or aren't you taking it? And so I think we wanted to do two things to make sure that that happened. Number one, giving you the space to actually take some of the documents and plans and ideas there to completion, so we know we've done that. But I think on Friday when we end this day, how we're ending it this year, some of the timing that we've chosen to end it on, really wrapping it up in a way where the idea that anybody could walk away from the experience and not have implemented something, we have mitigated that to such a degree that, I don't know, you'd have to pretty intentionally try hard not to listen or do anything not to walk away having implemented. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be a great end of the show.
Great. Well, thank you for walking us through that. You know, we wanted to keep the call to around 20, 25 minutes max or so, and in so doing, we're only able to give you a kind of a high-level overview of everything. The 4 days is going to be really rich. Let's talk about the next steps. For those of you who are already registered, and I know there's at least 30 or so of you on the call, we're going to be sending you emails. We're going to be updating the website to help you to be prepared. We're going to give you the opportunity to choose your breakout sessions. We'll be giving you all travel details and things of that sort as we get closer to knowing what the exact weather will be like and things of that sort. For some of you who haven't booked your flights yet or things of that sort, I would encourage you may want to think of coming in a little early or staying through the weekends just because it is such a neat place. I know many of our clients will not only come solo, but they might bring their spouses or families, and that's always a pretty neat thing. Many of you will bring your teammates. That's awesome. But since you're there, you just might want to leverage it and spend an extra day there doing whatever you'd like. There are also some of you who have expressed a desire to bring somebody that you think would benefit. I think it feeds into one of the questions that was asked. There was an individual that was asking, is there an industry that people are coming from, you know, maybe more so from one industry than the other? And I think what you all need to know is that as a coaching company that grew up in the mortgage banking world, today still 50% of our one-on-one clients are in mortgage banking, and a lot of our mortgage clients will continue to come to the experience, and we're so grateful for that. So you're going to see a lot of people in mortgage banking. You're going to see a lot of people in real estate. You're going to see people, business owners. You're going to see restaurateurs. You're going to see business professionals from a lot of different businesses. But the one thing that connects everybody is your desire to be more intentional and proactive in business and in life. You want that clarity that comes from this type of a format. So we love seeing people from different industries coming because so much of those differing perspectives really help us in our own roles just to think outside of the box, which is one of the most valuable things to an event like this where you have business professionals from many industries. So stay tuned to the emails, make your travel plans, make sure you got your hotel or housing taken care of. For some of you leaders who are on the call, you know they have homes available too, which create great team events. I think there's probably 70 or so on right now that are not registered. There are 15 slots left. That's what I got the email on this morning. There are 15 slots that have not been spoken for. I know we have a pipeline here at Building Champions of prospective folks that would like access to the 15. But as of today, there are 15 that have not been sold. So with that, there's an opportunity for some of you to join us. 225 is the cap. We want to keep it intimate. We've been 225 capped year after year. And some of you might be right now thinking, hey, this is the event that I want to come to. I would encourage you to call our offices. You can talk to us about the event. If you want more information, you can talk to our sales team or any of us coaches. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions. We'd love to have you there. So 7 weeks from today, the experience. It is going to be what could be for you, many of you, a business-changing or a life-changing 4 days. We're excited about it. One of you wanted to know, you're bummed out you can't make 2012, but you wanted to get a jump on 13. So put down September 17th through September 20th for next year, and don't schedule anything, and you'll be able to join us in 2013. We'll love to have you then. All right. I think we've answered everybody's questions. Steve, any final thoughts?
Again, I don't know if it's a final thought as much as it's more of a reiteration from before. There's people that need to be here. I just know it. And there are some people that need to be here who are in a space right now in their business and their life, and they're just going, how do I do that? How do you take time away for that? And, I got to be honest, I don't know that there's an easy answer for that. I think the truth is when we make the time to reflect and plan and connect, and when we do that, I don't know that it's easy. I don't think we live in a world where that's an easy thing to do, and I guess what I'd want to say is I think you and I could figure out a way to have this in a different part of the country and an easier spot to get to and open it up and, charge less. And there's just a lot of different ways that we could do it. We're not intentionally making it hard. We're intentionally making it meaningful.
Yeah.
And because of that meaning, I just, for the handful of people that are just sitting there wrestling, looking at their inbox, thinking of their lives right now and going, how do I do that? Again, we're not here to hard sell you. I just know there's a handful of people that, I got to tell you, we're there every single year. And we don't only think it, we get it from other people.
Yeah.
God, I wish my colleague could have come to this.
A lot of people are coming this year because somebody last year signed them up and said, you know what, next year I'm bringing my brother-in-law who's the leader of this company, or I'm bringing my friend or my teammates. And for those of you who are on the call who are bringing your teams, you guys are going to have an awesome team experience. We've got some pretty neat things planned for you. Well, let's honor their time. And our office number, 503-670-1013. Of course, our website has all of our information. The website for the experience is right there on your screen. If you have questions, get back to us. Let us know. We'd love to see you. And for those of you who are coming 7 weeks from tonight, we're going to get it going. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.